college, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, yeah,
I think that, you know, in that sense, I was thinking about a few more kind of Terry-esque and not like kind of industry people.
Terry does like admissions preparation stuff, right? I seem to remember.
Well, they started there's sort of two companies in the world, but they started, he and his wife Gloria started a company for authentic interviewing of candidates so that universities could quick vet candidates. So it's like you apply, but then you add it. So they don't prep kids for any of that. They basically provide a service to universities that helps them weed through candidates more quickly. And they also have been a client of ours doing interviews for incoming Chiba Dwight students. We're going to have to jump out of here in a second because the duty stuff is ending.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
But we've got to make sure the campus is secure. But I do think that it is interesting to think about people, which is why I've been sending less AOs, like admissions officers, your way, and more people with kind of insight into like the backdrop of everything, like the.
No, I think that's sound actually, because, you know, I mean, Katie was great. I mean, you know, I was catching every other word at the beginning. I mean, I needed to have a cup of coffee, really. I mean, she was, oh my goodness. But, there wasn't too many surprises at what she had to say. Whereas, Crockett and, well, Robbie certainly, I learnt a lot more. So you may be right there. There's another person that I'm reaching out to through my network, Irv, who handles a lot of the PR work, with the agency. He's gotten into, Vassar. So he says it's a long shot, but he's going to see, whether that's worth.
Officer?
I don't know the job title of the person concerned, but once I know the name, I can let you know.
Yeah, let me know in advance, because I know I happen to, by random circumstance, know the assistant to the provost, the head of Vassar. The head of Vassar is a woman named Elizabeth Bradley, who used to be at Yale, and her assistant. I did a call with him a few years ago because I know someone on the board, and like to talk to them about how to get more Chinese students to Vassar. Now, the good thing, that one part of it would be, it's possible that if you talk to someone at Vassar, they won't know us at all. We do have an amazing kid going there this year. I mean, truly amazing. But, like, it's one of those things. What'll be interesting is Vassar and Bard, Sean Moore from Bard. They wouldn't be very different schools, but Sean is a China expert and knows us really well. So it could be interesting talking to somebody who doesn't know us at all. And that's the only thing.
Exactly. That was exactly the reason. Yeah. It was just to get a total greenfield opinion, on the whole process. And, you know, if there is, you know, certain things, to raise profile, put you on the, this whole, what's it called? College profile, is it? This document, companies. Right. This seems to be an extremely important piece of documentation.
Maybe that's a collateral you could do. I mean, can somebody tell us how to actually make it better? Because all we do is get advice from, you know, Dwight New York and whatnot. And
well, Katie pulled. She couldn't remember it from memory. She pulled it up while we were talking, and there was one thing that she said would be useful. The one thing she said, it was quite long compared to some of the others. I said, is that necessarily bad? She said, no, but there was a lot there. There was lots of information which she welcomed, and there was one thing that she thought wasn't necessarily missing, but maybe needed more information on. But it's all in the transcript, and once that's ready, I'll obviously send that across.
NYU, they probably want it shorter because they read 100,000 applications. There wasn't enough standardized test score data.
Right.
And they're so like they just fly through this.
They're looking to a reason to cull rather than anything else, right? Because the list is just too darn long, I suppose.
They're also our single largest attended university, which is why I thought it would be interesting to talk to her. Okay. The most Chiba Dwight students go. They are not the school that admits the most of our students, but they probably get the most yield from us. No, but this is all great. I mean, and I've had a good time trying to think about who to, you know, have you chat with. And I hadn't actually originally thought about having you chat with as many internal folks, but I'm certainly glad that that's useful.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've got Raphael later on this week. Is it worth me speaking with, I've forgotten her name. Oh my goodness, I'm having a brain freeze. Bailey, yes.
Bailey knows nothing about the outside world, and she's incredibly fixed mindset. But Bailey runs admissions.
Okay.
So the problem is, what do we hope to get from Bailey that's actually actionable and tangible? Like, I know where a lot of her pain points are, but I don't know that she has a vision in any way how to transform the intake admissions to Chivo Dwight. I don't. So
okay. Then maybe not. Then it was just. I mean, I think her name is on the what's that called? The report, the profile.
It is. Yeah, it is. I think Bailey's.
Brantley.
Yeah.
Is there a Chinese parent who would have done all their research and have a kind of almost like a national picture of the top high schools in China, who would be, with really good English level, who would be able to kind of give an overview of this school and that school to G from a Chinese parent perspective and the value? Because I just think it would be interesting for G to hear that line, maybe.
That's a good idea, though.
The reality is probably not a parent, but probably an agent.
Ah, yes. Like a Margie.
But unfortunately, most of the agents that are tolerable are all getting kids outside of China. I have a friend named Nini Suet, who's really interesting. But I don't think she really knows much about local placement. You know what? Nini could be very interesting to talk to, though. Nini went to boarding school in the U.S., and then she went to Princeton, and then she came back to China. She mainly does high school. She started a business here. She mainly does high school counseling for kids going outside of China.
Oh, okay.
She's really Western. She knows Chivo Dwight. She lives in Beijing, but she'd be a good landscape person for, I think, in a way. She's, I'm trying to think about people who are really like top of their game and very articulate, as opposed to a lot of the kind of random agent types that are
I'm
around.
also interested as well in the kind of trends stuff, because this is market trends, because
amazing.
A lot of Chinese agents are trapped into kind of, it's a relatively short-term perspective on what's happening, and they can tell you exactly what it is like in the moment, in the heat of all the pace of change in China and all the rest of it. But many of them would find it almost impossible to hypothesize about what might happen even next year, let alone 3 years down the track. But I think for this type of long-term Marcoms planning, we do want to try and do some predicting about where the movements are going to be in the landscape, so that in someone like that could be really, really good. Better than a Margie, you think, Brantley?
Margie's too new. She doesn't know any of the.
Got it.
She doesn't know the mindset or the landscape. I think Nini, though, is very interesting and engaging. I've called her. I've called her a bit on Switzerland. She's been the person who's been giving me a lot of Chinese mindset on Switzerland. So she's, I think Nini could be really interesting.
If you speak to a G, I'd be inclined to say that I would go for really drawing out like what the Chinese parent mindset is, because you'll need that interpreted for your sake, not being. And that's, by the sounds of it, she'll be able to do that.
No, that will be useful. You're right.
I think there's two parts that emerge, aren't there? There's what the Chinese parents want and what they know about Chivo Dwight and what they know about the landscape and what they're looking for in a high school. And then it's what's coming out the other end is what Chivo Dwight wants to be, known for and respected for and all the rest of it, and have its kind of global image. And that's the outward facing. And actually one is not the same as the other.
No, absolutely. And actually there's an argument for two, because, in traditional marketing theory, those are two audiences. Those are two audience segments, two